Welcome, Marvel nerds. I'm Andy,
Mike.
and we're going to be doing a special little video cast for Geek Salad for the next, what is it, Mike, 17 weeks?
18 if you count Black Panther.
Okay, 18 weeks. Pretty much from now until the release of Avengers Infinity War, Mike and I are going to do a quick, 10-minute recap of every single Marvel Cinematic Universe movie.
Yes, it's the road to Infinity War.
Yeah. Oh, boy. It's a marathon, isn't it? Not a sprint. This isn't the DCEU. We're not 6 movies in.
No. DCU, it would be a slog.
Oh, yes. Exactly. Exactly.
With the one bright spot being Wonder Woman.
And as you can tell, I'm joined by Darth Maul, a character who was killed unceremoniously, and we knew nothing about his past, and nobody bitched about it.
And then they brought him back in the cartoons, which means
That's true. They did.
You never know what's in the future.
That's true. Snoke has might have a life yet. So anyway, all right. So we're starting off this with the very first one. Obviously, the one that started them all. A very unconventional one too. When you think of how superhero movie franchises start, they tend to start with their A-listers first. Batman or Superman, come to mind. But in 2008, Paramount Studios, yes, Paramount Studios, not Disney Studios, released a little film called Iron Man.
Just a little.
And it was directed. What's that?
Just a little
movie. It was directed by Jon Favreau of Swingers fame, and starred the likes of Robert Downey Jr., Gwyneth Paltrow. What was his name? The one that didn't do any more of them?
Jeff Bridges.
No, not Jeff Bridges. The other guy, Brody.
Terrence Howard.
Yeah, Terrence Howard. So, pretty much the way this is going to work is because we don't want to take a whole half hour or so discussing each of these. We're really going to talk about what we felt worked, what didn't work, and where does it hold up in the grand scheme of the MCU as it stands today in 2017, soon to be 2018?
Oh, yeah, very soon.
All right, so Mike, what worked in this movie for you?
Well, I mean, you can't go any further than Robert Downey Jr. His portrayal of Tony Stark was spot on perfect.
I agree. This was the very first superhero movie where I wasn't all that upset that I didn't always see the main character in the costume. This is the one where you wanted to see the alter ego. You wanted to see the guy behind the suit more because he was fun. He was a jerk, and he was a flawed hero, and it really worked out well.
In fact, if you go back and watch the Iron Man, which we did, and I highly recommend it, the suit's only around for maybe half hour, 45 minutes tops.
Not even. I'd say a half hour is generous.
Probably like 20, 30 minutes is what you see with the suit.
Right. And that's the Mach 3 suit. I mean, the silver suit gets a nice little. The Mach 2 suit gets a nice little run for a test thing, and then the Mach 1, which is essentially the big tin can.
Yeah.
That he busts out of the prison in.
Which apparently weighed like 60, 75 pounds.
Oh, it was pretty. Yeah, but the only thing is, it looked comics accurate, which was something that I don't think we were used to for Marvel movies to be that comic accurate. With the exception of, I think, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. I think that suit worked really well.
It did.
Yeah, but for the most part, I mean, we had dealt with years of Punisher not having the skull, and Captain America with rubber ears and little wings.
Because that makes so much sense on a costume, right?
Oh well, the ears too. I mean, it's like, you know what? They look so cool. Your ears hanging out of this mask.
Do they help him fly? No, they're just there for decoration.
Yeah. It's not like Submariner's little wings on his feet.
Yeah, we still have yet to see a Submariner movie.
No, that's true. Well, Universal is probably going to be sold. It's not out to Disney anytime soon now, right? But I think that this movie works really well. I think it's held up. especially because it's the first, and this is the one that, up until the very, very, very end of the patented Marvel after credits sequence, it was a standalone movie.
Yeah, I was just thinking, I was like, that's one of the big things about the movie is they made it as a standalone movie first, and then they worked out ways to connect it to the others.
Yeah, I mean, it was a standalone movie. There were some Marvel Easter eggs thrown in there. The S.H.I.E.L.D. thing was a big Easter egg. Watching it, because I had heard, because I think I went about a week or two after it had come out, and this was solely because my wife was going to give birth any day now to our first child. Christ, that was 10 years ago.
Wow. Scarlett's aged as much as the MCU.
Yeah, the MCU. She's as old as the MCU. But yeah, I remember hearing state of the credits, and no one told me what was going on.
Oh.
So, and this is another thing that worked, was I stayed, and it was, the credits were good. The music was really good for it. Ramin Djawadi's music I love anyway, because I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan, so I really like that. But but watching Nick Fury and Samuel L. Jackson playing Nick Fury, and then you just get to the Avengers Initiative, and all of a sudden, the doors of possibility swung wide open for me. And I'm like, they're really going to try to do this. They're really going to try to do this.
I mean, that's the first inkling we got. Like, dude, we may be eventually see a movie with the Avengers.
Man, I can't wait to see how badly they fuck this one up. Yeah, I really liked it. I thought that the supporting cast, Gwyneth Paltrow has never been less as she is in this movie. This is actually one of her finer. It's like this and Shakespeare in Love.
That's the other one I was going to mention.
Yeah, I know. You have to count that one, even though I'm a huge Cate Blanchett fan. So she should have won for Elizabeth that year. But that's just that's just the Anglophile nerd in me. But yeah. But I thought she was fine because she didn't need saving.
Kind of.
Think about it, though. She didn't need saving in the way that she kind of did further on down in Iron Man 2.
Yeah, that's true.
Iron Man, Obi didn't take her and be like, "Yeah, trying to rescue your girlfriend, Tony," or anything like that.
He never had her in his hand, holding her over a cliff or something like that.
Yeah. You want your pepper ground, Tony?
I'm so torn. On one hand, I wish they had that line. On the other hand, I wish they didn't. The pun lover in me wants it, but the pun hater in me hates it.
Yes, exactly. I'm not proud of myself for coming up with that either. So, they were really great. The introduction of Phil Coulson, Clark Gregg,
the strategic
strategic homeland intelligence and espionage designed only for killing
and logistics division.
Okay, that's a mouthful.
Yeah,
we're working on it. I thought that really worked well. The action was a lot of fun. Again, going back to Ramin Djawadi's music, it really moved the action along. Just the trial and error with the suit. I like that. I like the montages of this guy having to learn he can design it, now he's got to learn how to use it.
Well, this is also the movie that first introduced us to that Marvel sense of humor.
Yeah.
His interactions with Dummy.
Oh yeah, Dum-Dum.
Were so you spray me again, I'm sending you to the college.
Oh yeah, I'm sending you to a community college. I really enjoyed that, and it was a lot of fun. The action sequences, as I mentioned, were a lot of fun as well. I like the turning point too when he found out that his equipment was still being sold to terrorists and were responsible for these village bombings. And that turning point where he finally takes the glove and he puts it on and he shoots out the glass with it and realizes that he can use that as a weapon. It's not just a flight suit. He can use the repulsors as a weapon. And it was a nice turning point because then that goes right into the attack of the terrorists.
Oh yeah, I mean, again, credit to Robert Downey Jr. The look on his face when he's first putting on the entire Mark III suit and about to go out, that's the look of someone that you guys are taking my weapons. This is it.
Yeah.
I'm not playing anymore.
Very determined. And it was nice to see that shift too, because it really, I mean, adds to his character that he's not, all fun all the time. So what in the movie didn't work for you?
Well, as much as I thought Jeff Bridges was a great villain building up, the when he gets into the Ironmonger suit, he became a bit more mustache twirling for me.
Exactly. Fresh ground pepper, Tony.
You see that the Jeff Bridges in the beginning is more cunning, more like manipulative. As soon as he gets in the suit, then he becomes that. Oh, I'm gonna get you, Tony. Gonna
get you. Gonna get you. Jeff Bridges is definitely the weakest link in the entire movie, and this is a movie featuring Terrence Howard, whose pretty much contributions to the movie are either Tony or damn, maybe next time. Yeah, we'll have somebody else playing the part.
Yeah, that's what you get for trying to make more money than the star.
Yeah.
Oh, and let's not forget the cameo appearance by this guy.
Oh, yes, that's right. That's right. Because yes, he's not Tony Stark.
No, he's not.
Yeah, no, the thing with Jeff Bridges is that Jeff Bridges, when he's playing Ham, I'm not the biggest fan. So there's a lot of like little bits here where he tried to be menacing, but it's hard to take somebody menacing when they're smoking big comically large cigars and riding around a Segway and then arguing with people over pizza.
Yeah.
Or cheeseburgers.
The thing is with Obadiah Stane, I mean, I really get two types of villains from him. I mean, the villain where he's like, he's using that machine to and he's taking the thing right out of Tony's chest, and where he has his men kill all the terrorists. That is the villain that I would have loved to have seen for the whole movie. But then we get the villain that's, oh, I'm gonna get you, Tony. I've got this greatest machine. Now I'm gonna kill you with it.
And there was at one point in the movie I thought I dozed off for like 3 seconds because I was fairly certain he was going to admit that he killed his parents.
It's not out of the realm of possibilities that was gonna happen.
Right.
But then no, they use that plot point later on in the movies.
Yeah, much later on, like weeks away, like probably in April we'll be talking about that.
Yeah, probably.
So, overall on the whole, how do you think this movie's held up? I mean, I went on Rotten Tomatoes, 94% critical rating. It's still the highest rated MCU movie according to Rotten Tomatoes aggregate.
Really? I thought there was a higher rating one.
Thor was higher for like a day, and then I think 2 reviews dropped it down.
Oh.
That's like the jackasses that took Zootopia or Get Out from 100 down to like 98. Jerks.
As how it holds up, I think it holds up quite well. I mean, its only downfall is that it was the first one, and so they have had 9 years now, going on 10 years to improve upon that formula. So it's not so much it's gotten worse, it's that everything else has gotten better.
Right. I mean, my thoughts on that is, first of all, it's not an advertisement for the larger universe yet. And we'll talk about that too when we talk about the Hulk next week. That because it's not the expanded universe, the Easter eggs are not as aplenty as they are going forward. And I think for that first run of introductory stories, and you can even bring that up to something like Ant-Man or Doctor Strange even.
Mhm.
Really want to establish the character first before they plunk them into the larger universe. And with Iron Man, there is no larger universe to plunk him into yet. He is the seed that grows the mighty oak.
Quite right. He is the
The other
root
thing,
of Yggdrasil.
the other thing too with this movie is that this is. I mean, sometimes I feel like this movie gets a lot of love because it's more the redemption of Robert Downey Jr.
Well, it is.
It's an overall excellent Iron Man film, and I don't want to take anything away from that. That's like my argument against people that say the only reason why The Dark Knight is memorable is because Heath Ledger died. It's not because
No,
Heath Ledger.
he was just.
Ledger was a fucking revelation in that movie, you know. So with this, yeah, Robert Downey Jr. had a shitty 10-year run before this.
Oh.
And then he had Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, which was kind of like his kind of makeup film, and then this.
Kiss
and
Kiss Bang
this
Bang.
was
Wasn't Kiss Kiss Bang Bang Shane Black?
yes, it was.
All right, we'll talk about him later on.
Yeah, in a few weeks. About 6 weeks from now.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it really is. It's a redemption story for not only Tony Stark but for Robert Downey Jr., which is kind of cool when you think about it. But I think the movie's aged well. But when you compare it to the Marvel movies, it's nowhere near my top 5.
I have my list of my rankings right here, and obviously this could change when Black Panther comes out. We'll find that out in a couple months. But right now, Iron Man is in my number 10.
Your number 10 slot. I don't have my list here. I could probably remember that next week. It's probably around 7 or 8 for me. But then again, I mean, you know me. I love the Guardians movies more than life itself, pretty much.
Yeah.
And the Captain America movies. And I really, truly adored Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yes, as did I.
Honestly, this is the best of the Iron Man movies.
I would not disagree.
Yeah, no, and this is coming from someone who really enjoyed Iron Man 3. I didn't get the hate, but, you know, whatever.
I understood the complaints about it, but I had so much fun, I disagreed with the complaints.
Right, exactly. I'm just pulling up right now what the you don't have the box office numbers on you, do you?
I think
pulling up IMDb right now to find out what the box office numbers are right now, so we have them.
I'm thinking 500.
What's that?
I'm thinking 500.
It was something like that. Yeah, and I know that when Justice League was released, they actually compared opening weekends. And Iron Man had a better opening weekend than Justice League did with 9 years worth of inflation behind it. So they didn't even have to adjust the number, and it still, I think it took like I would say like $96 million in 2008 money. And in its opening weekend, it still beat Justice League.
But let's not go into comparing the DC to Emerald, because then we'll get people all yelling at us.
Eventually we will, but that's Iron Man. It's I enjoy it. I watched it very recently. Still enjoyed it. I'd watch it again.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This is definitely, I mean, as far as a kicking off point for the entire MCU, I don't think it could go any better than this.
I agree. I fully agree. This is a fun. It's a fun movie. There's so many positive points to this movie in terms of an acting and a production and a story standpoint that, I mean, it's amazing that they were able to improve on it.
Yeah.
So they really could have hit it out of the park once and then sloughed off for everybody else. But this is definitely a really good place to start.
Yeah, this was definitely a great cornerstone to build the rest of the universe around.
Yeah. So that is it for Iron Man. Next week, we're going to be talking about the Edward Norton Louis Leterrier classic, also released in 2008, The Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, I was actually kind of, I thought there was some movies in 2009, but we went 2008, 2010.
Yep. Yeah. So we actually, it's a weird split because then it's another Iron Man movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, so if you're not already, if this is just something that popped up because you're like, oh, I wonder if there's any retro reviews for Iron Man out there, and you like what you saw, Mike and I do host a podcast. It's Geek Salad, and you can check that out at geeksalad.podbean.com, or you can look it up either on the iTunes Store or the Stitcher app, or download the Podbean app if you're already a member of the Podbean family.
Or on this very YouTube channel. We've been posting pretty much all of our episodes, except for one that got copyright hit for some stupid reason.
But also, please, if you like this video and you have no intention, even if you have no intention of checking out our archives, please comment below, like this video, and subscribe below. So until next time, I'm Andy.
I'm Mike.
Go forth and be nerdful. We'll see you for Hulk.